Good morning all. Bruce Anderson, Nature's View, Natural Humanship in working with horses. Specifically now the Mustang. This is a Mustang, she's about a year and a half, filly. And she was purchased by Lisa Durson and 5 others for the Equus Film and Art Festival held in Aiken last weekend. And a friend / client of mine, Charles Harefield and Scott, he is, funny enough, starting to work on a book called All the Grey Mares. And it just so happened that we were talking about maybe getting a Mustang for the girls down at the barn at Seabrook. And lo and behold, there was a grey mare, or grey filly, that was part of the 6. Which you have these Mustangers that come in, and 7 of us, and each person gets to work with the Mustang to showcase kind of the work that we do. And we don't get to pick them, it's drawn. And funny enough, I drew the gray one, which sealed the deal for Charles that he had to have this one. And here we are. So she is a year and a half. They stayed for about 5 weeks at a place in South Carolina, and the daughter, Jenna, named all of them, and this one was named Sapphire, which my nickname for her this morning ended up being Goldie. She arrived here very late in the night on Sunday. What was it? What are we now? Saturday? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and this is Saturday morning. What are we, the 28th or something like that of September 2024? And yeah, this is what we have.
So what's your plan for her while she's here? What do you do? What's your routine?
It's sort of interesting, because the big thing that I learned from Mustangs as opposed to domesticated horses, they're not handled by man. So the method that I would work, or the work that I would do with a domesticated horse compared to a Mustang is totally different, in the sense of there's nothing to fix. They're clean. So if she leaves, I move her around and looking to build the mental tools and getting her to do alpha. If she comes, the biggest thing with a Mustang and anything should be no intent. So basically, like yesterday was the first day, and we didn't even have her leading properly, but she came with me and cleaned the path, cleaned the little area that we have in here. Then it was the first time yesterday we took her out in the afternoon with us, pushing the wheelbarrow. And so basically she's attached to me, or I'm holding onto a rope, she's attached to the rope, and I'm pushing the wheelbarrow to empty it outside. And then I walk up the hill to my little feed bin, because I had to drop off the feed bucket. Then I had to go to my trailer because I want to put the hoodie on her. And then I got the scissors out and I clipped her bridle path using a pair of scissors, although I contemplating very strongly in using my electric clippers. But I thought, let's not push it. This is the first time she's come outside. And then we actually worked on stepping on the ramp of a trailer. And then, what else did we do? What did we not do? I think it's more the thing. Oh, we sprayed some stuff on her. Espana silk. Mm-hmm. We used this on her yesterday and did a little bit more of the combing and brushing of her mane and tail.
And all of that, of course, is with the hurricane coming through and everything else going on.
Yeah, that was it.
So that's a lot.
Yeah, that was like, I think the hurricane hit us, what was it, Thursday night? So Friday. Yeah.
So what did you do? Like the first 3, She came in on Sunday night.
What?
So just briefly, what did y'all do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday before the hurricane hit?
What did we do? Basically, she's fascinating. The last day when we were in Aiken that I had to work with her, to be quite honest, I decided, well, I shouldn't say I decided. I felt that I was not going to work with her. I did my little thing with the people, and that's the thing about the work that I do. It's more about sharing this knowledge, the 4 pieces, with people and making them consciously aware. And that's our big thing. And showing then how the horse helps you to help yourself, acquire these 4 pieces. With her, I felt that last day I didn't want to do anything more with her because, one, she's female. They have one head, the head with the brain. And in doing what I did with her, that was enough. She had knowledge and we were building wisdom. But I didn't feel that that was a place to build wisdom. Because she then takes the knowledge to do what she wants to do. And you have to be very careful when you're working on transferring that mindset, which I call now tyrant, but she's logically doing tyrant, over to alpha. How can I help you? As opposed to I want to do what I want to do. And I didn't feel that that was the environment to do it in. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was slowly getting her to come around. She didn't want anybody to mess around her face. Now she'll let you brush her and scratch her, but then it's like you couldn't use anything on her. And it's funny, when I went to sort of introduce the halter, like literally this rope halter that I bought for her, she actually left. Didn't want to have anything to do with this. Was pretty adamant about it. So then I was able to use my lariat and oh my gosh, oh my god, I was able to use my lariat. You come in, come, and it's a nice old soft lariat. And using the lariat, what I did was, and as you can see, now we have a little more work to do. Don't fall over. So like I said, we have a little more work to do.
Good save.
But no, that was pretty cool. And that was great that happened. Because again, yes, she was worried, but she wasn't frightened. And
I mean, she pulled away, but she didn't go running freaking crazy.
But that's what I'm saying. She needs a little bit more work. But she's really concerned.
Yeah.
And if you think that was bad, like before, she would leave, which is fine. You want to go. And it wasn't about chasing her around. It was about building her mental tools. And then all of a sudden she'll look into you. And then we worked on arcing. Again, working on that mindset. How can I help you? How can I help you? As opposed to I want to do what I want to do. But being very careful to make it her idea and being very careful to reward. And then when I was able to put the lariat on her, then, see, like right there, that's what I mean about intent. I had intent.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't so much the rope, but I had intent. And also I was sitting my ass down in the chair, which then was a little bit more pressure for me. And then I held on to her. So it wasn't so much the rope, but the intent that I had, which caused her to go. So one of the big things that I'm learning from the Mustang is this. As George would say, when you pull that seal off, or that wrapper off, and you feel the sense of whatever you want me to do, I can do. The one thing you want to remember is they don't know about our world. So there are going to be things that really bother them. Oh, the chicken. I was wondering what was scratching them. So you got to always remember that they are natural horses, meaning wild, natural, that they are, how should I say, conditioned for nature's world, not people's world. So you never know what might, trigger. Like, for example, yesterday I was up by my trailer and I have one of these orange cones. where the valve is for my line. So I put an orange cone there. So while hanging out by the trail and I was doing something, she maneuvered herself over the orange cone. And then all of a sudden, the orange cone hit her legs and she kind of like jumped and carried on. And then hit the end of the lead rope and then just quietly turned around and came back. So you never know when that will happen. And again, because we're helping her to help herself and building her mental tools up, it wasn't the cone, but the pressure created by the cone. Her mental tools are now stronger than that. And she, for 1 second, freezed. But then all of a sudden, boom, she came right back.
So what's the plan now for the next little bit? So you kind of led up to this. This is going to be, day, whatever it is. Tomorrow's a week since she's been here. So what's the next step?
So the next step is starting to introduce, like I would do with a lot of horses, building what I call the bridge work, the both sides. Take the lariat, rub it down her body, stand in front of her, rope over the head, yada, yada. I have this step-by-step process. Then I get the flag stick out, I get the cracky stick out, I get the happy stick out, move the quarters, leg yield over. So I do that kind of work. But then we go for a walk. And using that walk, more specifically the pressure created by that walk, to allow her to put into practice what we've been studying in the round pen. So we work on knowledge, wisdom, building the mental tools, creating wisdom, using these different objects, and then we go out and put it into practice with no intent.
So why is it not, it's not desensitizing, it's sensitizing. So describe why.
The reason why it's sensitizing is this. Because to me, we're letting the horse tell us what to do, when to do, how to do. And we're in charge of the picture one frame at a time. So that's the difference between helping and helping one to help themselves. When you help, you are still working on telling them what to do, when to do, how to do, which means to say that it's not you helping, but the pressure created by what you're doing, you are deciding how much pressure, which means to say that you're using pressure to intimidate under the heading of love. And that, in the language of nature, is blue vibration. So it's not what you're doing, but the vibration that you're doing, which is basically saying to them, you're not in control, because you can't give up control. Now, by letting them tell you what to do, when to do, how to do, and you're focusing on the picture one frame at a time, assuming, of course, that your mental tools are equal or greater than the pressure of that moment. That's a whole different ball of wax. So you are now using pressure to communicate. And it's the difference between making a bad situation worse and a learning and teaching. When you help, you're also not building their mental tools. You're actually almost, how should I say, they're going to do it for you, but they're doing it more out of fear, for lack of a better word, not out of understanding. And then the other thing that you're doing by helping them, again, you're not building the mental tools. So especially with kids, for example, what you're doing is low self-esteem. They end up hanging out with people that they otherwise wouldn't have hung out with. Same thing with the horse. She's doing it, but she doesn't understand why she's doing it. So as we do these different exercises using the different things, my focus is not let me rub you down with the rope, the seen thing. It's about the unseen thing, building the mental tools. Why is that important? Well, first and foremost, why a lot of people don't know this, including myself, and I learned the hard way, was we were never taught that, okay? But yet, because of the world we live in, compared to the world we're created for, nobody ever consciously built our mental tools. The only way we were getting that is when we played outside. That's when we're working on patience, timing, field problem solving, listening, hearing, which is what's happening in the world today. Kids aren't playing outside, so they're not getting that piece at home, at school, and not even outside because nobody's playing in nature. So we're losing touch with nature even faster, the wild. So by doing this and using these different things, I am consciously building the mental tools up. And in so doing, when we leave here, it's not the tools, but the pressure creep by that. When we go outside, there are going to be pressures that are equal, maybe less than the objects that I was using. And so therefore, they're not going to be as reactive as they otherwise would have been. So that's why I call it building the mental tools. And we're doing it consciously, and that's a key word. Consciously doing this.
Cool. So we'll see now how the next week or so goes, and how she does with building her mental tools.
I guess we will.
Thank you.